Alright, so this will be the final video on the Sportster here. I'll try to run through as much as I can. And what I didn't cover in the previous videos, it's been quite a while. I've taken some videos on what I've done. I just haven't had a chance to post them. So wanted to get the final video up at least here. First and foremost, I wanted to thank all the subscribers, everyone that's been watching, all your cool comments, and all your support. And I really do appreciate that. I had no idea that there was people that are actually interested in this and what I'm doing, and met a couple of them about a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago at the Born Free show, and really appreciate you guys. Thanks again. Probably didn't thank you guys enough. Forget your names and I apologize, but you know who you are. Anyway, I started an Instagram. It's at DJP Customs, and if you have Instagram and you're interested, you can follow me there and get some more frequent updates, more like weekly or possibly even daily if I'm out here a couple days in a row. But anyway, I just wanted to get back to the bike here, I guess. The first and foremost, I guess the kicker is on here. Probably most people haven't seen that because it wasn't. This is from Estevez Motorcycle Design, EMD. What it is, it's a two-piece sprocket cover, and then there is the kicker portion, which has an electrical button in there. So as you kick it down, it basically hits the button and starts it. So it's still a push button electric start, just in a kicker. I powder coated the rear portion of that. It was kind of an accident, but came out looking pretty proper. The exhaust, you can see the front pipe just kind of runs down in a fairly traditional sense, I guess you could say. I did kind of frame out the cam cover slightly, and kind of kicked it out, used some Built-Well tips. The rear pipe went a little crazy and swung it back forward, kind of going around the primary cover, and then kind of kicked it out a little bit, as you can see here, underneath, with the same tip on that side. So let's see the bracket here. You can kind of see how this all came out. I don't remember, powder coated it and did the speedo in there, the electrical. As far as the electrical goes, I have the turn signal buttons left and right up here, which exit the bars down below with the throttle cable. That then runs down here. It runs in with the headlight wiring and then into a wiring harness which runs straight down behind the clutch cable. Then meets up with the front signals into another wiring harness that runs basically on the inside top of the frame rail, back this way, and then the connections are right up in here. And then that runs straight up under this area. The connections, basically the main connection for the rear tail lights is under the seat here, then runs back down, splits off for the rear turn signals, which I just made some brackets off of the lower peg mounts. That's where these are located. And then another wiring runs back behind the brake line and then to the tail light brake light. So that's basically all the wiring. Well, actually, I'm sorry. And then I have two different wiring harnesses, or different wiring covers, rather than one large one that runs up here, and that's all the wiring for the speedometer, the coil, as well as I think it's like an emission sensor that I just left in there. It's in the manifold, and that's then all the wiring, your on-off switch, which I just decided to wire in there in the high-low beam. I was doing the high-low beam anyway, so I just decided to do the on-off switch. I do have a couple little mini LEDs that I would kind of like to hook up, at least one of them for a turn signal indicator, just letting you know during the daytime if you're using the signals, you have no idea if they're on or off right now. And maybe even just put it in this top cover here somewhere where you could just look down and see. At night it's fairly obvious, you can see the lights blinking on the ground, but since they're so low, but you can't really tell during the day. So that's the one thing I can still probably do. Other than that, she's pretty much done. The seat and fender, probably didn't go over that really. You can see how that all came out. I ended up doing the key, in the tail section there. There's plenty of clearance on the inside, so just went with that. You can see how the seat, comes real snug up with the fender, and came out really pretty nice. I probably did some additional work like on the English wheel and stuff to smooth out the fender since the last video, but as far as the paint goes, basically I just smoothed everything out and then sanded it down to get it pretty smooth. then just Scotch-Brighted the metal, basically just to kind of, you know, flatten it out a little bit, get everything kind of more uniform. Gloss cleared it, then laid down some stripes, you know, in kind of a pattern, just, I don't know, came out kind of cool. And then did a matte clear. So it's basically just the bare metal with the clear coat, so you can still see all, you know, the weld marks and things of that nature. It's just basically the bare metal. So that can obviously be redone, but I think it came out really pretty cool. It goes along, I think, with the, you know, the kind of real flat cast look that's, you know, on a lot of the pieces, and then with the, you know, polished kind of finned areas, and, you know, anyway. But that's that, you know, that's pretty much that. I'm sure that there's things I'm missing. You know, you're more than welcome to ask questions in the comment area, or like I said, go ahead and follow me on Instagram, and you know, I can post more pictures of this bike if requested and things like that. So if you have that, go ahead and do that. I'll try to post one more video at some point. I'll get this thing outside. I just don't have time right this second, and at least do a start, maybe like a little riding video or something, if I can. So anyway, thanks again, everyone. Appreciate it, and hope you like the way it turned out here.